Hey guys, before we get into today's video, did you guys know that I have a second YouTube channel? That's right, I have a second YouTube channel called Tnek FPS. This channel is based on first person, third person, all kinds of different shooter games and stuff like that. Instead of flooding you guys with the shooter goodness and everything over here on Tnek 127 Gaming, where you're looking for MMOs and stuff like that, I took all the good old shooter news and I put it on a second channel. So if you're looking for first person, third person, or any type of shooter content, games like Rogue Company, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and stuff like that, be sure to check me out on Tnek FPS. Link to that channel will be in the description below. Your support is appreciated. Gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tnek127 and welcome back to another video. And guys, enjoy the gameplay in the background. You are seeing Path of Exile running on the Xbox Series X in performance mode in today's gameplay. Now, disclaimer, there is no next-gen version of Path of Exile available yet on the next-gen consoles. It's still running a native Xbox One and PlayStation 4 client. However, if you are playing on the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5, you will have the option to use quality or performance mode, because those were options given later in the life cycle of the games for the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. So if you're using a Series S, unfortunately, you will not have an option to use this mode, but if you have a Series X or a PS5, you will. Just want to give that disclaimer and everything before we went ahead and talk more about the game. But anyway, guys, I want to talk to y'all about Path of Exile here in 2023, how I'm feeling about it and stuff like that. And I'm going to give a big fat disclaimer right here now. My experience with Path of Exile is very minimal, and the reason for that is because I've been wanting to get deep into this game for years, but finding a solid group to play it with, has just been an on and off thing. It's been very difficult. Some of my friends are more into it, some others aren't. A lot of my group, just finally got together and said, hey, we're gonna really give this game a look and a try and stuff like that. And especially with Diablo 4 being around the corner, I thought it wouldn't be a bad time to check this out, because Diablo 4 is definitely going to be something that we bring here on the channel later on this year. So what is Path of Exile? Well, Path of Exile, I'm going to go ahead and call it a MMO light here in this video, but in a sense, it's just it's a multiplayer action RPG in so many words. So think games like Diablo, Torchlight, and stuff like that. The only difference with Path of Exile is every single town is like a social hub where multiple players can gather and stuff like that. Unlike, in games like Diablo and stuff where you're only limited to the characters in your party, everyone that's on the server, at that current time, depending on what league they're playing in and stuff like that, they're going to be in your hub town, depending on where you are at that current point in time in the game. So it does have, that little like MMO lightish kind of feel, but in so many words, it's a multiplayer action RPG. You can play it up with up to 6 friends. Unfortunately, there is no cross-play yet. I will probably say that's one of Path of Exile's only negative things, but I do think also that, in all fairness, the developers would probably have to be careful moving forward with crossplay on all platforms, especially, because there is a player market inside of Path of Exile. And I know, when it comes to MMO and RPG games and stuff like that, a player market is just not something you can take and just shove it all together overnight. There's a balancing to it. There's a method to the madness, like the sales and stuff that people sell on one platform and may not look like that on the other platform, so it could screw up things for those players, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You guys know how that goes. But Path of Exile right now, I do have to say, is if you're looking for a action RPG or an MMO to play in 2023, I definitely have to say Path of Exile is probably one of the best options out there. Now, if you're looking for a MMO style, something like Terra, Final Fantasy 14, or something like that, and then this is probably not for you. But if you're one of those people like me who really fell in love with Torchlight 3 and then you were disappointed to see Perfect World give up on that, don't worry guys, we are going to rant about that sometime this year too. That video's been a long time coming and I've been debating about it, but I'm going to do it. But anyway, we're going to talk about that another time. We're here about Path of Exile. If you're someone, who's waiting for Diablo 4 and you're just sick of doing the leagues over and over in Diablo 3, or maybe, the newer release remake of Diablo 2 is not doing it for you. You want to jump into Path of Exile. Any one of those those categories you might fall in is fine. Path of Exile is an awesome game, and the one thing about Path of Exile is when I try and make a comparison of it and I tell people about it, I say, think of a game that's like Diablo, but it has the dark and grim atmosphere, of Dark Souls. Some people go ahead and compare it to Diablo 2 because it was a lot more grim, a lot more dark and stuff like that. But I give Path of Exile that Dark Souls like comparison because this game is actually challenging. And that's the crazy part. Like the boss fights in here, they're actually difficult. You're not giving a bunch of abilities at level 10, think you can walk into a boss gate, spam them to death, and the boss is just going to go down. No, you actually have to coordinate with your group. You have to follow mechanics well. The bosses do get more and more powerful the more people you have in your group and stuff like that. Like even one of the first bosses I fought together with my group just about a week or so ago. I believe it was like he was a butcher or something like this. This giant creature looking thing in this furnace area. This guy was he don't get me wrong, we beat him, first try, we took him down. But he was challenging, he was dealing damage to, everybody around us. We had to actually be careful. We had to dodge. We had to heal up. It just wasn't a fest where we could all just spam a bunch of crazy AoE cool looking spells and his health just went down in 5 minutes. We didn't get that kind of experience from here. And that is one thing I definitely respect about Path of Exile. There's definitely a high skill ceiling here that you have to learn, that you have to master. And I mean, if you take a look at the game's skill tree, you'll get that impression right off the bat. The damn skill tree in the game looks like it takes all 30-something gigabytes of the game data. Like, I kid you not, I have never seen a skill tree so big in any RPG in my life. That thing gives me a headache every single time I look at it. But in a good way, because there is a giant build diversity between the different classes. There are 5 or 6 different classes. I believe there's 6, and then there's a 7th one you can unlock by completing up to a certain chapter in the game story and stuff like that. And guys, the content in Path of Exile is just awesome. The game runs great. The music is amazing. The story is really dark and grim. Any RPG player, whether you like that dark or grim side or whether you like that fancy side, there's something for you. They have amazing cosmetics. A store that's completely cosmetic. There's no pay to win BS. There's nothing like that. These guys are basically, like the Fortnite of action RPGs. And, I'm dead serious. There's nothing you can buy in this game that'll give you any type of edge whatsoever. Hell, I don't even think they sell XP boost in this game. I don't even think I've seen an XP boost in the store. And I kid you guys not. This game, it offers a lot. The only thing I personally don't care for, and this is just, a little pet peeve preference of mine, so don't get upset or anything when I say this. I'm not a league player kind of guy. I don't like, starting a new character every couple of months and, just seeing how fast and how big of a character I can run up to that league. Me personally, I'm more of a typical straight MMO style dude. I like to run through my main story, find my end game dungeons I can grind to get better gear over and over and over again. And every time, a new update or expansion comes out, I can go and participate in that content. And Path of Exile, they release new expansions and content updates very frequently. Their YouTube channel is always advertising, new and upcoming expansions. Not to mention there's a sequel that they're working on called Path of Exile 2. Yeah, there's going to be a Path of Exile 2 for people who didn't know. And I'm pretty sure, they're going to be putting that on all platforms as well. And guys, the future of this game, it just, it looks exciting because, they don't stop. They're always showcasing new and awesome cosmetics. And not to mention when it comes to cosmetics, you can customize everything from, your characters, what they're wearing, to what their weapons look like, to the particle effects on the weapon, to the particle effects that happen when you walk, to the pets that are around you. There is cosmetics and just, goodies in this game for everyone, and I could not recommend this game to you guys more than enough. Right now it's available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Will they make a Switch version one day? I don't know. Diablo was done on Switch, so I don't see why this couldn't be. It'll probably be a little bit more complicated. This game visually is definitely a lot more taxing than something like Torchlight or Diablo 4 from a visual standpoint, but I definitely think, with some of the right sacrifices, depending on, if they want to do it on Switch, it definitely could be done. But guys, like I said, there isn't an action RPG right now that I could recommend more than you guys to check out other than Path of Exile. But anyway, y'all enjoyed today's video, smash that like button. Let me know down in the comments below if you're playing Path of Exile in 2023. Y'all want to see more content like this? Make sure you're subscribed if you're new. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. Have a good one.